Hey everybody, so welcome to my channel. This is a very different video than what I usually do, but I've been learning a lot about this topic and I kind of wanted to compile a video that I could look back on and kind of check myself on, but also it's just nice to have a refresher about what is self-care. So I think the reason why this has gotten a little bit muddy is because in an effort to make self-care a little bit more talked about, you kind of have to make it practical, and in making it practical, people have kind of made it seem like it's just a list of things to do instead of a lifestyle. Self-care is about caring for yourself so that you can care for others. If your care is taking a hit, that's going to affect the way that you serve and care for others. But kind of overhauling that mindset of I need to destroy myself to help others and to care for others, it's not how it is. I kind of have broken it down, but it seems very basic, but I think that they're the most neglected part of self-care, and so I think that's why it's important to remind yourself what really is self-care. So starting with number one, and that is sleep. Sleep is so important, and it's usually the first thing in somebody's routine that goes. Adults need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. The younger you are, the more you need. So that seems kind of crazy to think about, but like if you're a 20-year-old, if you're a college student, you actually need more on the side of like 8 to 10 hours of sleep. That's crazy because that's just not the life that we live. So we're kind of damaging ourselves by the number one thing that we absolutely need. So to kind of break down a little bit of what that looks like, and I don't know if you've done any research within sleep, but it's really cool to watch and to see how important not only sleep is, period, and getting enough, but getting the quality amount of sleep that you need. So the first thing in your sleep cycle would be your awake time. You spend about 5 to 15% of your sleep actually awake. It's most of the time not something that you remember, or not something that you will say like, oh, I was awake, this amount of time during the night. You may have thought that you slept the entire time, but you were still awake during parts of it. It's good to keep in mind that because you spend 5 to 15% of your sleep awake, that you're gonna need more of it, because for me personally, I usually spend about 45 minutes to an hour of my sleep awake. So that means if I think that I'm getting 7 hours of sleep, I'm actually only getting 6. So it's important to remember like, oh, well, I'm going to sleep at 11 and waking up at 6. Like, I'm getting 7 hours of sleep. You're getting under the bare minimum that you need. The other thing is REM sleep. So REM sleep is rapid eye movement, and that is about 15 to 25% of your sleep. It's responsible for regulating blood flow and blood glucose levels, which is very important, on top of clearing Alzheimer's related plaque from the brain. That's important also for your mood and your memory. That's a really big part of your life. The other thing, so once you go from awake to REM, you're gonna go to light sleep. Light sleep covers 40 to 60% of your sleep, and it promotes mental and physical restoration, which we all love. So if you kind of wake up and you're feeling like you're just like, my brain isn't working, like brain fog kind of stuff, if that's happening a lot, you may want to look at like your light sleep. The next thing and the last thing, after you go from awake to REM sleep to light sleep, you go to deep sleep. Hallelujah. This is probably the one that nobody gets enough of, and this covers about 15 to 25% of your sleep. This helps with physical recovery and also helps with maintaining and retaining information, so your memory. This also contributes to the feeling of being rested. So if you wake up and you go through your day and you're thinking like, I just don't feel rested, I got plenty of sleep, what's the deal? There's lots of issues that could be going on, but a main one might be that you're not getting enough deep sleep and you're not spending enough time in that sleep cycle and sleep schedule. The other thing that to keep in mind is that it takes time to go from awake to REM to light to deep. So some resources that could help you with your sleep is Fitbit. They track your sleep, or they can track your sleep. And this is really helpful insight to have. If you wear it to bed, it'll show you using like movement and your heart rate and things like that. It'll show you on your app whenever you get done sleeping. You can just like go there, upload it, and see how much of your sleep you're spending in those cycles. And if this is the most helpful thing to me, if you're not gonna like have a Fitbit just for the fitness aspect of it, get it for the sleep aspect. It's amazing. Another app that could help you, so iPhone has a built-in bedtime helper. That's so cute. Makes it sound like a little mom. It'll send you a notification so that you're able to go to bed or wake up at bedtime. Another app is called Sleep Cycle. This is the bestseller app for sleep, and you put it on the bed next to you, and it kind of does the same thing that Fitbit does, just without the heart rate. It'll track your movement. And anyway, somehow it's extremely accurate. I haven't looked at the science behind it, but I've heard great things about it, and I've used it once before. So that one's a great one. And then another one is Sleep Score. So I'll leave all of these in the description below if you want to go check them out or look at them. But another big part of getting good sleep, and this is so important to me at least, is setting the mood. Ew, it sounds weird. But diffusing lavender, if you're like one of those people that you like hate essential oils, then don't do it, whatever. But I personally can tell you I notice a difference in my sleep whenever I diffuse lavender. Another thing too, if you are like, oh, it don't work, cool. But you're training your body that when it smells, that lavender smells the most like important and useful scents. So whenever your body senses like, oh, we smell lavender, it's time to go to sleep. And that's super helpful because it's like subconsciously letting your body know that like we're about to go to sleep. Another thing that you could do, take a cold shower. And this sounds kind of like, why would I take a cold shower? But apparently cold showers are actually better for relaxing your body than hot showers. So I don't know, take a hot bath, relax your muscles, soak in some Epsom salts, things like that. Read a book. This is really good, maybe not fiction, but read some nonfiction before you go to sleep so that it can kind of, tire your mind out a little bit more, and then kind of relax you. You're not doing any kind of like movement or anything like that. So, and then another huge thing is put your phone away. That blue light, you can tell me all day long until your blue light in the face that you're fine. Your phone doesn't affect you, but that's just not science. So sorry. Blue light affects you, and it keeps your brain awake and your brain active. So it's important to put your phone away. You can actually set your phone to lock up after a certain time. So that encompasses sleep. Now we're going to talk about the next thing, and that is your food and diet. Balance is the most important thing with your food and diet. I am not a registered dietitian, obviously. I don't have many or any certifications to be able to say a lot about this, but I can tell you in my personal experience, it is helpful to have balance in your diet. I am personally also not the person to look at right now because I'm definitely not doing that, but I'm working on it. Balance. It's kind of the concept that I'm not going to just eat broccoli for the rest of my life, but I also don't need to have pizza every night. This is helpful, especially if you know your schedule of, I'm going to go eat Mexican tonight, so I need to make sure I'm going to have like a salad or something very light for lunch. That does not mean that you starve yourself before a big meal. That does not mean that you are like going crazy all the time. That just means you're intuitively eating. If you know that you need a blood sugar pump kind of thing, like, oh, I just need a little bit more, like, eat an apple. But if you're just like, I just want a cupcake, eat the dang cupcake. Like, have a bite or have one cupcake, but also remember to limit yourself. You don't need as much as you think you do. And another important thing is your mentality around food. Are you scared of food? Are you obsessively tracking your calories all the time? These are not good things. And it's important to remember that you control your food intake, and food does not control you. Another and the last thing I will say is that if you find that you have issues, if you're trying to do your best to like really help the way that you eat or anything like that, and you're just finding that you're having a lot of issues, that's okay. You're not alone, and people feel that. I have a link to a website called Overeaters Anonymous. It's just a community for you, but also seek help. If that's something that you find to be a little bit of a bigger issue than you thought, then go get help. It's not a shameful thing. You're helping your body, and that's amazing. Sorry if the lighting changed. I had to go do something really quick, so I'm coming back a few hours later. So the next thing that I think is so important, but also really just fun, is routines. I think routines are so pivotal to the success of our day. People, I think, disregard the benefit of having really set routines in your life, and I think that they help with the structure of your day, it helps with the productivity of your day, and it just maintains like a sense of like, oh, I have this thing I can look forward to, or even if life is getting crazy, I know that like this routine stays the same. I think it's important to remember whenever you're making a routine that like, don't just load it up because you can or because you should kind of thing. You shouldn't just be loading up a routine because, you know, it's what so and so does. Like, it needs to be able to create value in your life, not just it's a good idea. For instance, working out. Some people work out in the mornings. I cannot do that. I do not work out in the mornings. It's too much, and it would stress me out a lot more if I worked out in the mornings versus just working out later in the day. Whenever you're creating a routine, that everything in your routine actually creates value and is something that you look forward to doing every single, you know, morning or every single night. There is tons of places to get inspiration. Pinterest, if you just look up morning routine or night routine, tons of stuff. If you look up on YouTube, you can watch people do them. Some ideas and things that you could be putting into your routine is, for your evening routine, there's, you know, drinking a nice cup of tea. Your local grocery store most likely has Celestial Seasonings, and I cannot recommend that tea company more. They have so many good teas. You can also read a book before going to bed. You can also, good idea, turn off your phone. Set out whatever you need to for the next morning so that you can ensure that you're going to be successful. I think that that is a big help for people whenever they're trying to really get rolling with morning routines and night routines. Stretch, taking a shower. You can journal, maybe declutter your space a little bit, clean up, so that you can go to bed or rest easier. Some morning routines, I recommend so hard having a morning drink. Now, most people love coffee. Me and my Earl Grey tea are best friends. We have appointments every morning. We talk to each other. What? Make your bed, eat a good breakfast, or have a light little snack in the morning. Just maybe doing some kind of devotional. Make sure that you're drinking enough water throughout the morning, because water really helps wake you up a lot more than you think. Write out a to-do list, or check some emails. On to the next topic, and that is, I think, the most neglected self-care aspect, and that is your mental health. Mental health matters. I love that we are really undoing a lot of kind of wrong ways of looking at mental health, and I really think that that's great, but we have to be really intentional about keeping up with that. So I think some practical ways of making sure that you're kind of keeping your mental health in check is, I will say, for me, getting enough sleep, a big part of your mental health. Another one I would say would be affirmations. You need to affirm yourself. There's only so much that other people can do for you, and I think that while people can affirm you, and it's nice whenever they do affirm you, it's nice just to have affirmations that you're like, I believe this about myself. And I'll put a little clip of right here, and those are things that I resonate with. I'm not just putting stuff out there because I don't believe it or something. Like, these are things that at the core of my being, I know I am. Now, working out, yes, is great for your physical health, but it has so many benefits past just being good for your physical health. All the endorphins, they're like legal drugs. Take advantage of that. You know, move your body some point in the day for however long you need to, but I think it's really important just to have an active lifestyle. If working out is not attainable for you right now, or you can't be one of those people that's like 5 days a week, no, that's totally fine. Just find ways to be more active in the lifestyle that you live now, rather than trying to carve out 30 minutes to an hour to go be active at the gym. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is kind of the pamper routines. I would really like to clarify that pamper routines is not self-care. completely neglecting every aspect of this video, but saying every Wednesday night I have a self-care night is not self-care. That's just more work. I think being intentional about the things that you do in your pamper routines, there's lots of examples on YouTube that you can look up to kind of get some ideas of what you should do, but I would really suggest just making this a whatever needs to happen. Just however you can pamper yourself and take time and say, I'm doing this for me because I care about me. That is pampering. Treat yourself, honey. And then the last thing, while pamper nights or pamper moments are good and treat yourself is real, there's also sometimes you need to take a mental health day and just exist. You don't need to put anything on the calendar, and a lot of times this needs to be months in advance to be able to actually do it. So find something in your calendar that you can do that will help you towards achieving these mental health goals so that you can feel cared for. So that's the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and I hope that you got something out of it. I think that self-care is something that all of us could do better and all of us could help each other do better, but at the end of the day it is still self-care, and nobody can do for you what you can do for you. And honestly, as kind of sad as it is, nobody cares about your self-care as much as you do and as much as you should. You deserve to be healthy and you deserve to be cared for, and as an individual and someone who is responsible for their own happiness, you have all of the tools to be able to go do that and to do it well. So anyway, with that, like this video if you liked it. Don't like it if you didn't. Feedback, hello. Subscribe if you want to. I upload videos hopefully every Friday, and if there's anything in your self-care routine or things that you do to make sure that you're caring for yourself, leave it in the comments below because I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching. Bye. Oh. Of being rested. So if you're, it sounded like I just said being rested, of being rested. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Anyway, you're not doing any kind of right out to do